The Poker Ashes, sponsored by 888.com.
Hello and welcome to the fifth and final test of the 2009 Poker Ashes from Marylebone in central London. Now we have got to tell you that in fact the series has already been decided with some fine bluffing and bravado from Team Australia, giving them a 3-1 lead at the moment, but as we all know, Team England never as good as they are in a dead rubber. So Darren, your boys have got to reclaim a bit of national pride tonight.
You're not kidding. I still haven't won an Ashes series. Absolutely ridiculous. Been playing 20 years and never won an Ashes series. But we always do well in the final test normally. We normally sneak a win when Australia are playing a bit loose. I think that'll be the case. So we've got to play well. Our big players haven't come to the party. Australia have got some good players, safe players, and they've been too strong for us, as usual.
But as we all know, Australians hate to take their foot off the gas, least of all when they're in competition with the Poms. Same again tonight then?
Yeah, it is. It's, you know, we were looking to pull their pants down in this one. We're looking to really give it to them. We'll go 4-1 up. And, but dead rubbers, we don't usually play that well, so there might be a few bad plays in this one. But I think just to add a little bit of spice to it, Goughy, just about a challenge. You up for a challenge?
Oh, always, mate. You know that.
Okay, so you're up for the challenge. So now this is the challenge. If you guys win, I will wear an England Darren Gough shirt to Lords during the Lords Test match, Australia-England Ashes. But if Australia win, you have to wear one of my shirts with Warne on the back, Australia, the old emu, kangaroo, the crest, and you have to wear it to Lords.
As long as I don't have to bleach the hair, I'll be all right, mate. What do you reckon?
You haven't got much left, actually. We could probably help you out there too.
Well, I am getting on a bit though now, you know what I mean? But yeah, we'll go for it.
Okay,
I'm up for that.
It's getting personal, guys. Very best of luck to both of you, and let's quickly see who else are in the team captains' lineups tonight.
So for the final test, the Aussies have pulled out the big guns. Their team: Dean Jones, Jeff Thompson, Damien Martin and Skipper Warne.
Yes, congratulations. Absolutely awesome effort, boys. Have done very, very well. I think it's time now, seriously, let's pull their pants down this last one. Let's really give it to them. Let's give it to them properly here. We're up 3-1. Let's make sure we give it to them 4-1. And you know what? I reckon we should target Keezy too.
Keezy?
Let's target Keezy. Let's go after him. All right? Yep, let's go. Come on, boys. Let's give it to him.
For England, Peter Such. The main target, Rob Key, Skipper Gough, as well as qualifier Steve Fowlson.
Listen, we've won one game. It's all about pride now. One test match beating Australia still means the world to me. So it's poker, rules are the same, let's just try and beat them. I can't have Warne on my case saying we've lost 4-1 for the next 5 years now, so let's do it. Let's just win one game. Thanks. Come on, Keezy, you're the man.
Quick reminder of the tournament rules for you. Each team contains 4 players, and as in tournament style, they play down to 1 winner. There are points available for finishing in the top 3 places, 3 for the winner, 2 for coming second and 1 for third. The team that obviously accumulates the most points wins the test. As you're aware, the Australians have won the series already, courtesy of their 3-1 lead going into this, the 5th and final test match. And of course, this is also a charity event. The winning team receives $8,000 for their chosen charity, and the individual winner of each test match bags $2,000 also for the charity of their choice.
Another good one, the best one was,
the players have made their way to the table, so let's join our commentators, England's Min Patel and Grub Smith.
So what he did, he put a sweep.
Before hostilities commence, time for our tournament director, Barry Munday, to officiate the coin toss.
No.
Okay.
No.
No, it is.
Remember, edge missed it, so I swept it, middled it, flat, and it went straight to sweep hand. And he wasn't even in a sweep position. He wasn't at sweep slog, and he wasn't on the sweep behind square. He was in like middle of nowhere. And I put it straight to him.
That's unlucky.
For naught. For naught.
It's like Pidgey sweeping first up.
I also bagged him at Headingley. Dizzy got me, I played on.
How many pairs you got?
Oh, only one against Australia. Bagged him, home test match. Cheered out both on and off, come off and
Stats fans may want to know that every time Australia have lost the toss, they've won the test.
All I could do a laugh.
Action coming round to Damien Martin. He gets out of the way. And Darren Gough, King 7. How adventurous does the England skipper feel? Perhaps bearing in mind that bet he's made with Shane Warne.
Talking about all the old days, shouldn't we?
He gets out of the way. Peter Such also abandoned ship. Shane Warne, well, just calling from the button for fun there
Made a picture.
with 8-3, and no raise from Rob Key with an ace-10.
Very conservative play from Rob. We've seen it all along with Keys. He plays the medium aces very slowly.
Well, he's let in both the Australians here. They have made small pairs, 3s for Warne and 4s for Dean Jones.
Good player.
Dean Jones puts in 5,000. Warne folds bottom pair, and suddenly that suited ace-10, which would have swept the board had he bet it pre-flop, is rendered useless. First blood to the Aussies.
What's going to happen? But Keezy has to just get a bit more involved. I think he's very timid, very passive with his play pre-flop, and a small raise pre-flop, you're probably taking the pot down against the two Aussies.
He was right, Ken. I called him because I didn't want to call him. I got him Trezzy. No, so I was like, hello, Steve.
Action on England's captain, Darren Gough. He's picked up a genuine hand, ace-queen offsuit.
Me and Sim had been on all day, all night at his house.
Just a call.
Negative.
Peter Such has found a suited ace. He also wants to be involved. Shane Warne in with absolute rags.
We're all having a little look this time.
And this is almost a family pot.
Have a look,
Schoolboy error.
It's all right, last test coming over now. You might have a pair now.
Sleep.
Jeff Thompson and qualifier Steve Falzen.
Sorry, Shane. Sorry.
The only one's not really joining the party.
Check.
Martin checks. A whole host of hands out there. An up and down draw for Dean Jones.
Someone's got to hit that copy, surely.
A gut shot for Robert Key.
7 score.
Yeah.
And a 10 needed for Darren Gough. Martin at the moment with his jacks in charge.
7,000.
Can I go out now? Thanks.
But he folds the best hand.
I had too much sleep then. This is being tested.
3.
Well,
Check a bet. Check
that heart changes nothing.
and check.
But it's all gone friendly. They've checked it down to the river.
3. Check a bet. Check.
Can Dean Jones summon up a bluff?
Only way he's going to win the pot is by throwing a little bit in. 12,000, probably get called, but no, Dino didn't quite have it in him to find a bet.
And ace high will win this one for Darren Gough.
Queen high.
Oh, just done you with an ace, I think.
This is good. You'll see.
Yeah, we'll get it
2,000.
away, won't we? Wouldn't it?
I ain't got one.
Have you not got an NBA?
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's all you can ask Paul
Well,
Collins.
that's what happened.
I only got 470.
Have you got an Aston?
I got 480 wickets for England.
Do you have an Aston Martin?
I got that in the first 2 years, Coffee.
2,000 score.
Well, I know that, but you're different. You're special.
Okay.
There's only one bloke got more than me, Beefy.
Pass.
One Englishman there.
I raise.
Raise.
Make it 9,000.
Raise to 9,000 total.
How many
Pass.
cat it get?
Pass.
For England,
No.
Are you winding him up now?
about 6 more than me, test matches.
Did he?
And about 150 less than me
Keep
one day.
8,000 and
When
7,000.
I was on that tour.
In test, played about 6 more tests than me.
But he got a lot more
wickets than you, though, didn't he?
What, first class?
Test.
He was one of your
6.
mates, wasn't he, Goffy?
Test more.
Yeah, I got more wicket.
No, you didn't hear what I said.
What did you call him?
7,000 more.
What did you call him in Australia when we went?
A quick look at the ranking of the hands shows us that right at the bottom of the ladder is high card with 4 unrelated other cards. Then a pair. Above that is 2 pairs. 5th card means nothing. Then there's 3 of a kind with 2 unrelated cards. Better than that is a straight. That's 5 running cards in different suits. Above that, a flush. 5 unrelated cards in the same suit. That can be beaten by a full house. 3 of a kind with a pair. Pretty good, but 4 of a kind tops that. It can be beaten itself by a straight flush. 5 running cards in the same suit in the right order, and then the big daddy of them all, the royal flush. The 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace in any suit. Unbeatable. Shane Warne to open the bidding.
I've not played the last 3 hands, I've not even looked at my cards.
Queen deuce surely too raggy even for the great leg spinner to get aggressive with, and so it proves.
2,000.
Dean Jones getting involved for the first time with Queen 9 off suit,
Raise.
and he finds a raise from our English qualifier Steve Falzon.
Very nice race. Suited connectors, 10 jack of diamonds, a lovely little hand to be trying to get into the flop with. He's pushed it up, but I think with Dean Jones, you always go, no, you're going to get the call, and Steve's got position on Dean Jones.
Well, Tomo
2,000 more.
fancies his 4-9 in clubs, and that prices Dean Jones in.
Let's be honest, Tomo had folded the first 2 or 3 hands, so he was due to get involved any time soon.
It's like the bouncer, you always know it's coming from Tomo. King, King 5,
Jack or bet.
nothing for nobody.
Jack.
He didn't need to pass, but Tomo decided they were so rubbishy, he'd just get rid of them now. We should see a continuation bet here from Falzon. He's seen weakness.
4,000.
Is that big enough into a pot of 14?
Oh, I think when you're up against Queen Eye, it's probably good enough, and it's a decent continuation bet, and should be a morale booster for Steve. He was horribly outdrawn in the hands he played in the first game, so good luck to Steve Falzon. The qualifier wins his first hand and hasn't got bad beated.
No, it's good feeling. There's been plenty of one-test wonders who have played in the Ashes.
The 5th and final test of the 888 Poker Ashes. The urn has been earned by Australia. It'll be going back with them. But the English team with pride and consolation at stake. 2,000 the bet coming round to Steve Falzon. Damien Martin, solid as a rock. Gough doesn't like his rags. Jeff Thompson makes a typical Jeff Thompson call with Queen 3 off suit. Harder to read than a Russian dictionary.
Is it just me and Tomo?
3 of you. Any raise or check?
Okay, I check.
No raise.
Shane Warne checking that everyone in the pot was Australian before deciding not to be aggressive with the ace-jack suited.
Tell you what though, it is changing, isn't it? Cricket, test cricket now, where you
Deuce.
not even many of the teams
Jack,
even have a
check,
drink now.
check.
Unbelievable.
And check.
You gave us a talk, didn't you, when we were at the academy? You just said that there's too many people on PlayStations
King.
every night.
Yeah.
Check.
Check.
I was right though, wasn't
And check.
I lost
The only way you get
total
the team.
enjoyment towards the end of my career with some of the things we did. Oh. We had Warne, Trescoffitt, all play every night, play FIFA football every single night. I said, what is this all about? I lost interest.
We're not.
7.
Check.
Check. Check. And check. Cards over then, please. What we got?
Shane Warne has Dean Jones out-kicked here. They both made jacks up. Shane's ace better than the king on the board that's being played by Dean Jones.
As we've seen all series, the Aussies are very happy to check it down when there is just an all Aussie pot, and Shane Warne's jack with the ace kicker held up there, but you know, we won't be surprised to see that all throughout tonight's game. If the Aussies are involved, just the Aussies, they'll be happy to check it down.
Plenty of banter around the table, that's good to see. The Aussies obviously relaxed after securing series victory in the 4th test at the Poker Ashes. Steve Falzon, he's a software engineer from Liverpool. Also a bit of a cricketer in his day. Took 8 for 6 in a school game, he tells me.
This is supposed to be a slow game and nobody's lost a chip.
He won't have played in this company, of course.
Oh, there we go.
Cool. Cool. Any raise?
Casey's got something.
Raise.
Keezy has got something. Pocket 8s.
1,000 total.
Good play from Robert Key. Knows that Peter Such is fairly tight. Doesn't raise, limped on the button, but Shane Warne's willing to give him a spin. 10-6, slightly optimistic against Robert Key's pocket 8s.
Yes, Shane must fancy he can outplay him after the flop, because he's out of position, as well as in pretty bad shape.
5.
But he's flopped a flush draw.
And check.
Very timid there from Robert Key.
7.
That gives him a gut shot straight draw. He'd need a 6.
And check.
This will help you though, this queen that's coming up. How are we supposed to beat this?
Some glasses, see through the cards.
Shane Warne has missed his flush draw. He also had a gut shot straight draw. That hasn't panned out. I can't see him.
Shane's just thinking, can I get away with a bet and take it down here? But I think Kesey's checked all along the streets just to make the call on the end here. If Warne makes a bet, I'm expecting Kesey to make the call.
Yes, 9,000 into a pot of 30. Not big enough from the Australian legend.
I'll have a look.
Cool. Okay, cards please.
You win.
Let's see.
Turn 'em over.
Cards over.
Here are tens.
Both cards.
Eights. I knew it was something like
Eights and six.
Hello.
Nice win there for Robert Key.
Hello.
No, Keezy.
I wouldn't mind some cards.
2,000 and 4,000 is now the price of poker. Button on robust middle order batsman Dean Jones, which means the action is on England's skipper Darren Gough, who appears to be hungry, not for the first time. King Queen offsuit.
I reckon you have the most of all. I'm going to check that. It's a good start.
I'm guessing.
Cool. Yep.
A call from Jeff Thompson could mean anything.
4,000 to play.
Shane Warne, for once, not interested.
Got 2 callers.
93.
Decent enough fold from Robert Key, but I fancy that Dean Jones on the button with sevens is going to at least have a look at this.
For the raise for 10,000 on top of the 4, yeah?
Raised to 14,000.
He decides to fast play the sevens.
14 total, 12 more.
Australia. Yeah, then 2005 Ashes.
Round to Damien Martin.
And then I retired the other one. I played eight series I played.
A bit of a no-brainer for Damien, given the cards he usually folds are much stronger than that.
Cool. It's 14 totals at the moment. Just needs to be another 9.
There is no way Jeff Thompson folds this in a 3-way pot.
15,000.
Jack 9 is a monster for Jeff. 3 to the flop. Plenty of overcards to hurt those sevens.
Cool.
And there's 2 of them to start with. A 9 for Jeff Thompson, a queen for Darren Gough.
30,000.
No
No messing around from Darren Gough, 30,000.
Like the bet, like the 30,000 into a 48. I mean, it's an overbet into a decent pot, but he's got the job done. He's taken it down without worrying.
Yeah, he's had enough bad beats not to want to mess around. Get the money in and take the pot down at the earliest possible opportunity. A sound tactic for England's skipper.
Aces, did you?
Oh, good. Well, at least you got paid out. Well, that might have been good. I did the right thing there.
Cards coming round. Button in front of Darren Gough.
Would love an ace to come out.
And it'll be Shane Warne with a very decent hand, raising in first position.
Raised to 13,000 total.
Robert Key's found 9s. He wants to be there.
13,000 to play.
Steve Falzon, ace queen.
Wow, got some hands here. Steve Falzon, ace queen. Surprised he hasn't re-popped it there.
Well, he may be slightly starstruck in this company. As I say, he's only a schoolboy cricketer. Did once get the chance to play at Edgbaston, but it was rained off, apparently. Another dream shattered by the British weather. Sachi, with pocket 8s, makes this a nice, healthy size of pot. We're 4-handed, 2 big aces and 2 medium pairs. Somebody could get hurt here. Well, there's the 9s for Robert Key. Steve Falzon, the one most in danger. He's made top pair, top kicker.
Will the teammates take it easy on each other? It's Kesey's shown he's not shy of taking his own teammates out.
Well, Key has checked that, and I imagine this will be a check raise. Decision at the moment on Peter Such, who's in love with his 8s.
5,000.
He knew he was drawing practically dead. I don't think he would be. sensing that Robert Key may have something decent. And he's right, because there comes the re-raise.
Well, this would be horrible, but unforgivable. I mean, you can't say it's a bad move if he goes all in. If he pushes all in, what can you say? He's got top pair, top kicker.
Well, he has got out of the way. And
well played, Steve.
Suchi's got a monster here.
Peter Such
Come over the top here.
just has 8s.
It is going to come over the top.
And manages to do the right thing at last.
Well played by Steve, well played by Peter Such, and Robert Key, a monster hand. Probably didn't get paid as well as he hoped, but at least didn't take out one of the other Englishmen.
Oh, good laid out, Suchi. What do you have? 2 8s. Yeah, trip 9s.
And the presence of our galaxy of poker stars has attracted an interested crowd watching on. Steve Falson has quietened down. No, Damien Martin. Well, if it isn't aces, he's probably not going to do anything with it. What about Goughy? Goughy has found the sailboats, pocket 4s.
12,000 total.
Decent looking race. Gets rid of Tomo, and that's no mean feat.
Plus 10 more. 10
What does the Aussie captain think?
and 8,000 to you.
8-5-2 raggy for him.
I think King 8's certainly out of Keys' wheelhouse, and easy pot here for Darren Gough. Takes it down as the England captain, takes the big blind off his teammate Robert Key.
And he shows the 4s, expecting respect. I'm not sure he's going to get any if he keeps showing little pairs like that. Cards flying around the green base. Blind still 2 and 4. And everybody still very much in contention in this 5th Poker Ashes Test match. Damien Martin will not get involved with 5-4.
West Indian boys, they still got it or not?
Darren Gough, well, a playable hand. Jack 9 suited. Comes in with a call.
2 up, Thompson definitely in suited cards. He loves a pair of suited cards.
A raise there from Peter Such, and he has walked into the mousetrap, I'm afraid. Shane Warne was obviously born good at a lot of things, but I've got to tell you, the evidence of these 5 Test matches, he was also born lucky.
Plus 25,000 to go. 29 total.
Get a feeling, Goughy? Get a vibe?
No, it's not moving.
Goughy taking a bit of Hollywood time, just drilling up. He's going to pass it, no question about it. Jeff Thompson could easily call the raise here.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not, says Jeff, and this may price Peter Such in.
Well, ace queen, you can't blame Suchi for actually wanting to go to the flop here.
He's made the call. This is music to the ears of Shane Warne. 2 opponents, just about what you want with aces. Maximise your chances of making money.
King, queen.
And that card is going to get Peter Such into a world of pain.
This has been a nice little start in poker for Peter Such. I can't see how he lost any more than the next 5 minutes. The chips go in.
I'm all in.
All in.
How can Peter Such fold here?
Well, those 2 spades probably prompting Shane Warne to make his move.
60, 65.
Surely not even Tomo can fancy his Jack 6 of diamonds. But Peter Such,
All in.
he says all in.
Cards open, please.
And Shane Warne licking his lips.
20,000 total.
Queen. Ace
13.
queen.
2,000 total.
Worst thing is, even his ace isn't alive. So he's going to have to find another lady.
That's your chance.
Can't be, no.
2 of them out there. Close, no spades for anybody. So
Darren Gough will now be bemoaning the fact he's laid down his Jack 9 of spades. Could have taken the Legends aces out here.
no queen there, and it is a pair of aces for Shane Warne. Peter Such, a pretty harsh introduction to poker. Found himself sitting next to probably the best player at the table, and he makes an early exit.
I had to go all in really. I was getting down to sort of a fairly short stack of chips, and I felt as if I played it the right way, just got beaten by the better hand on the draw.
I suppose in your Test cricket debut you got 6 for 67, was it?
It was, yes.
So that was a great debut on cricket. I suppose your poker debut wasn't quite as memorable?
I've thoroughly enjoyed my day, but no, it didn't quite sort of go as well as it did at Old Trafford all those years ago.
That leaves us with 4 Australians and 3 Brits. Riding high, Shane Warne, but good to see the English players Robert Key and Darren Gough in the silver and bronze position. Remember, England will need to get 2 players in the top 3, a first and a second or a first and a third, to secure victory in this 5th Ashes Test. Blinds now 4 and 8,000. This should stir things up just a little. I imagine the banter will slow down just a little bit. Jeff Thompson with the Jack 4 offsuit. One of the worst hands in poker, but he seems interested. And Shane Warne, on whom the gods have been raining good fortune, comes down with pocket 9s. Robert Key has found a suited Jack 10.
Four players.
5 players. We'll see 3 cards. Multi-way pot. Shane Warne will know there are plenty of overcards out there. And his 9s are almost certainly now in trouble.
And this could spell a lot of trouble for Jeff Thompson, who's hit the middle pair. And we've seen Tomo a bit loath to let go of these paired boards. And Jack 4 against the Jack 10 of Robert Key is probably not going to get it done.
Damien Martin has an up and down straight draw. He'd need an ace or a 9. Steve Falzon with only a gut shot gets out of the way. Damien Martin, well, tight as a drum. Look at this. Tomo coming from nowhere with the Jack 4, and he's way out in front.
Rob Key had passed the Jack 10. Seeing a couple of really solid 2-type possibly players. Damien Martin passes the up and down straight draw. Rob Key passes the Jack with the 10 kicker.
3 spades out there gives Shane Warne a flush draw. They both checked, a free card, and there it is. Shane Warne shows the winning hand. Runner to take it. Several players got out of the way there and would have had better hands. Damien Martin in particular folded the king of spades with his up and down draw.
Well, he's known as the king, and Shane Warne is definitely demonstrating why. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll see you on the other side of this.
The Poker Ashes, sponsored by 888.com. Ashes, sponsored by 888.com.
Action will be on the unpredictable Jeff Thompson.
Do you think that falls within his starting range, Grub? The ace 10?
Certainly does. 8,000 to play, remember. Key and Jones not interested. Damien Martin, well, doesn't respect Thompson, so he wants to be in here.
There's 8. 7.
Damien Martin's hearts are Sadly dominated by Darren Gough with the ace-5 of hearts against Damien Martin's king-9 of hearts, but in front pre-flop, Jeff Thompson, short stacked, 8,000 behind with the ace-10.
Well, it's been raised by Darren Gough, and he himself has gone all in.
He's got to push it, mate. That's all he said.
Damien Martin doesn't like his odds, gets out of the way. So Jeff Thompson at risk here. Card will go over. There's no more betting to see. Jeff Thompson is in front.
Ace-5. Can't Tomo. Ace-10. Dominating him. No hearts.
2-1 favourite.
Come on, baby. You can do it.
Well, you can take the man out of the 70s. You can't take the 70s out of the man. Ooh, look at that. 2 hearts. What a shocking flop for poor Jeff Thompson. He now has to sit through the palpitations and hope he can dodge a heart.
Another 10 will earn it. Even
Does have a draw to the full house. Has to be a heart now for Darren Gough.
Good job, he didn't have much left.
Oh, it's full house for Jeff Thompson. Everything going Australia's way. England missed the chance to send an Australian back to the pavilion.
Back, it's down the bar.
Action on the Aussie skipper Shane Warne, who's currently the chip leader. The 5 of diamonds, ace of spades. Giving it some thought.
I raise.
And uses his chip stack
20.
to put the pressure on. 20,000. He knows there are some tight players around this table, and he can be the big gorilla. He can dominate. Damien Martin certainly faint-hearted without big pocket pairs. Goughy, a more adventurous man, but out of position.
Feeling this time, isn't he, Goughy?
Well, he's making the call. That's baffling, especially with so much at stake.
Well, pocket tens for Jeff Thompson. 8,000 in, 32 behind. You've got to say, Tomo should be getting them in the middle.
Got it that time, didn't you? Young Gough-meister over here.
Oh,
He's full of wind.
Full of wind?
we'll see.
Like an emu. And you hit them in a 4-wheel drive.
Well, they sound like.
They go
Feathers everywhere.
like feathers everywhere, that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not our national anthem. That's the
9, queen,
coat of arms.
ace. Check with it.
That's worried. That's worried.
Middle pair for Goughy.
Who's had a tendency to lead out. When he's caught a piece of the flop, tendency has been for Darren Gough to actually lead out, and that will be trouble if he does that to Shane Warne here.
Shane Warne has already dispatched one Englishman.
20.
All right, I'm all in. That's all I got.
Tomo gets his money in when he's well behind. If he'd done it pre-flop, he would certainly have got rid of Darren Gough, and I guess he would have got rid of the rag ace in front of Shane Warne as well.
2,000 more. Cool.
That toilet break with a good move, wasn't it, Tomo? It was, yeah.
Still betting.
Jeff Thompson can at least relax. His money's in the middle.
Oh, who's got clubs now? Oh, yeah.
Well, if he's representing the flush, it's a great play. Can he make the pot size or the bet size good enough to get Shane Warne off the pot? I doubt it. 25 into 120,000 pot.
Well, Shane Warne may be worried about his kicker as well.
Where do I go after this? I'll call this one. How much have you got left there, Goughy?
20, 30.
45, 55, 60,000. Plus 25, 85.
Could we be seeing a pass from Shane Warne here?
Well, the more he thinks about it, the more likely he is to lay them down. Goughy's giving nothing away.
Cool.
Well, with that bet, Shane Warne pretty much committing himself to a call on the river. Perhaps another club could stop him.
Good luck, boys. Good luck.
Oh,
Well done and dusted now.
terrific card for Shane Warne. Darren Gough might just have to close down on the hand here and just say, look, I've lost enough in this pot already. I've still got 60,000 behind. I can live to fight another day.
Let's take a backward step. Another losing Ashes series you've lost in, though.
No, not quite.
Yeah,
Bluff bet from Gough could be seriously crippling him for the future.
Honestly, Jeff Boycott made 100 quicker than this.
We have seen Darren Gough call off chips with worse than 2 pair, but surely he's going to realise that 62,000 is enough to still play with.
That money in the middle is no longer his. He's got to realise that. And he does pass. So the cards will go over, and the one shred of comfort for the English is that we are going to lose an Australian player. Aces and tens for Jeff Thompson, beaten by the trip aces of Shane Warne.
Thanks, boys. Cheers, Tommy. Well played, mate. Good test series, Tommy, once again. What did you have?
Queens and aces.
Thanks, mate. Good Queen. Thanks, mate. Cheers. Cheers. Okay. Well done, Warne. You have Queen 5 or something, did you?
2 pairs.
You have Queen 5.
Queen 3.
Well done, Warne.
Knocked out by your own team captain.
Well, I looked after the captain, unopposed to what I saw in the previous game. It was, went on for a fair while. We'd already won, but I didn't mention that.
Okay, well, it is a dead rubber, but it hasn't stopped the way you Australians have gritted and bashed against the English. Looks like you've got a good chance of winning this whole series 4-1, not just 3-1.
Yeah, it's looking that way, isn't it, at the moment? Yeah, it was that game there. We were going to go in Tora, but you know, you are restricted by the cards you get, so it's pretty hard to go full build on rubbish. But yeah.
And riding way out in front is Shane Warne, the captain of Australia. 335,000 chips. Robert Key keeping the English end up in second place. And Darren Gough now the short stack and in danger. Blinds have now gone up to 6 and 12,000.
Yeah, in a big hand like that. You just don't want
Like that, you mean?
Doesn't matter.
We have a dead button where Jeff Thompson was, and it'll be Dean Jones, who's found ace rag. And there don't come any raggier than a duck.
Nobody dare play if you're
Bit 10. 12 or 12. Number 2.
At least Dino's managed to find a raise. He's quite often limped with the ace rags, but he's actually under the gun found a raise with the ace deuce, which is a decent play. I like that. Isolate the field, maybe even take it down without contention pre-flop.
It's 24 total.
Shane Warne is running on gas at the moment. It's going to cost him another 18,000 from his considerable Mount Olympus of a chip stack. And he does make that call. What about Rob Key?
King 5 does not qualify as a starting hand for Rob Key. Even with pot odds, Rob Key should be having a look at the flop possibly, but we know Rob Key is too tight a player to play the King 5 suited.
So just 2 Australians left in this one. Ace rag against the Jack 9 suited. Pretty much a coin toss.
Still K in that time, shouldn't you? 20 minutes. Should do 1K.
I certainly wouldn't be betting against Shane Warne.
Goes up a level every minute.
And here comes our flop.
20, not good enough.
Check.
Well, I would now start to bet against Shane Warne because Dean Jones has hit it, but there is the flush draw. Surely he can't hit another spade.
Well, that would have summed it up. If Warne had hit that spade on the end, it would have just summed up the way he's been running for the last 5 test matches.
Spades.
As it was, not too expensive. Jones was content to check down his trip aces. So just a flesh wound for the Great Lake spinner.
If you want aces against anyone.
Cards coming round.
He's got ace queen. And he's ace queen.
Action is going to be on Steve Falzon from Liverpool. He's found at last playable cards, pocket 4s. Plays a little piano concerto with his fingers, decides what to put in here. Fast or slow? He's playing it slow, just a call. Darren Gough still more interested in eating his chips than putting them in the middle.
Position and the button. Shane Warne happy to play Jack 9.
He may be reaching for a raise here. Just a call. 10 deuce for Rob Key in the small blind. Doesn't fancy it, and no raise quite understandably with a 4 deuce. It's one of Steve Falzen's fours if he does need to make a set to win this.
5, 6, 8.
Well, so far, so good for the Englishman. Shane Warne still with overcards and a 7 for the straight.
Bet 10.
12.
Oh, sorry.
7 would be a disastrous card for Falzen because it would give him the wrong end of it.
Well, Warne is definitely calling. He's got position. He's got 2 overcards and the gut shot to the higher straight. If the 7 comes, Steve Falzen's got the idiot end of the straight. And Warne feels he probably can take the pot away from Steve at maybe on 4th or 5th Street here.
Check.
I check.
And check.
Shane Warne being merciful.
King.
I bet 12.
12.
Just 12.
Can't win. Take it away. I can't even try and come over the top representing the king. I think you're good, mate. Take it away.
Correct analysis from the Aussie.
Enough.
Best hand I've had.
Jeez, I would have liked a 7.
Sorry?
I would have loved a 7. I had a 9.
Did you haven't? Right. Oh, wow. Yeah.
I would have loved a 7.
Good bluff, Steve. Hello, mate.
Okay.
6.
Rob Key has more chips than any other Englishman, but not going to add to them on this hand. K9 for Steve Falzen, the internet qualifier. Had to beat a lot of players to win this coveted seat.
Come on, mate, concentrate on the poker.
Damien Martin has a small pocket pair. Makes the call on the button.
You meant to get that hand against Keezy, mate.
Pretty sure Damien's raised out 40 to go, I think, with the pocket 5s.
Well, Shane Warne has a genuine hand. And against any other player than Damien Martin, he would fancy he was way in front. Ace Queen is one of those hands that pros tend to dislike after a while because it costs them a lot of money.
Cool.
Steve Falzen out of the way, so the 2 Australians, batsman and bowler, will lock antlers here. Classic Hold'em situation. Ace Queen against the underpair. And now Warne goes out in front. Paired his queen, but it's all very friendly.
What do you got? Pair. Aces. Kings.
7.
Yeah. I got ace
7.
queen. I check.
No good, so it will have to be a 5 for Damien Martin to get out of this and keep those chips in the middle.
Everybody's checking it down,
Every
mate.
other card in the deck is in favour of Shane Warne.
Oh, any diamonds for you? I check.
Check. Check. 5.
Unlucky.
Steve Falzen folded a king. He will be kicking himself.
Shane Warne adds another 98,000 to his ever-growing chip stack.
Blinds now up to 8 and 16,000. That's bad news for our short stacks, Damien Martin and Darren Gough. They will be forced into action with almost any 2 cards. Right now, Robert Key and Dean Jones leaving the stage. Over to Steve Falzen, the qualifier. King 8.
Cool.
Wants to see a cheap flop. It's a big push from Damien Martin. Now his image is as a rock,
Stay here.
so it's possible that this will go through.
See that your mate Sanjo?
Shane Warne has indifferent cards, Queen 6 offsuit.
Damien Martin has shown how to play the short stack very well over the last couple of test matches. When he's run low, he's actually not been shy to push the chips in, and he's going to get them through this time around with King 5 offsuit. Well played, Damien Martin.
Falzon's called him, I'm afraid, so King 8 against King 5.
Where has he found that call?
Perhaps he said something.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 6.
Falzon is about a 3-to-1 favourite. There's also a chance of a chop. Running diamonds would do it for Falzon as well.
You used to bet number 5, didn't you?
No more betting. All the money that's going to be in there is in there, so we'll see a turn card.
I'm actually going for an 8 then.
8. So yeah, you can have like anything above. You want a 9 or a 10 or an ace. So then it's a split pot. We don't need lower than an 8 though.
6 is bad news for Damien Martin.
He's struggling, isn't he?
Needs a 5 now.
Yeah. 5's coming. There it is.
No! Oh. Good luck, mate.
And there it is, Damien Martin. Dwindled and dwindled until he had to push, and Steve Falzon, the English qualifier, found the nerve to call him.
It's an inspired call from Steve Falzon. Both of these guys have shown a pretty tight range of pre-flop hands, and Damien's pushed for a decent raise over the top of Steve, and inspired call from Steve Falzon. One back for the Englishman.
Damien, have you enjoyed the Shane Warne show?
I've enjoyed it, mate. It's been a great experience, but I have to admit I'm knackered by the end of this. I found it interesting for that reason. Just struggled that last test match.
Okay, so let's put it into perspective. You've now played 5 poker test matches. Would you suggest that is equivalent to about 80 runs in a test match in Chennai when it's 120 degrees?
Yeah, we're going to say that, can't we? It's I think it'll be easier batting at the moment, but I enjoyed it. I mean, it's just you don't realise the tactics and how much mental energy is taken. So by the end there, Warne had me, mate. I was struggling, trying to catch up, and just couldn't do it.
Dean Jones looking down at his selection. 7 deuce, it is suited, but unsurprisingly he puts it in the shredder. Darren Gough, all in, ace 10. Fair enough, Goughy.
Quick look at the cards again, Warne.
Shane Warne is reaching.
Oh, what about this?
Well, he may think he's got 2 live cards.
80.
He's only got 1. He's raising to isolate Darren Gough. Quite sophisticated poker, and it is going to get Robert Key out of this, so it's skipper against skipper. Darren Gough's going to be delighted when he sees it. He should remember, of course, just how fortunate Shane Warne has been, as well as skillful.
Oh, dominating.
Come on, Goughy, you've got to win this one. Good pot this.
So lucky 7's required for the Australian.
Goughy a 3-to-1 favourite. As we go to the flop, blanks the flop. Goughy looking good to actually get a double up.
For the shirt.
A 9 or a 6.
Come on.
3 7s out there, or as Dean Jones points out, a 9 or a 6.
No, it's team, not individual. It's team.
No, I want you to wear with a worn shirt.
Yeah, but it's
That's
the
what
team.
I'm talking about. And we'll win this as well.
Well, Keezy's still in there. I've got my faith in Keezy all day long.
Oh,
Man, here, look at him. Shady. He's playing shady, this boy here, look. Yeah, they're building up gradually, Warne. He's catching you.
The good thing is,
I forgot about that actually.
Whatever happens, it's nice that you let the guys who won on the internet play more than one game.
We did the same thing.
Turn up all day. You know.
We did exactly the same thing.
Played one game.
Here we go.
5, that's another heart, and it takes away one of Shane Warne's outs. The 7 of hearts now no good.
Yep.
Well done, Goughy. Well done, Gough.
Oh, I didn't stay in there.
Back in it now, Goughy.
If he can breathe again. He's one step further away from having to wear that Shane Warne shirt at Lord's. Imagine the fun the TV commentators will have with him when the camera pans onto him. And equally, they will enjoy themselves if Shane Warne is the one who gets unhorsed. Five players, 2 Poms, 2 Aussies, and it's going to be the king of the Poms, Darren Gough, to go first. He gets out of the way. Shane Warne has got a pair of ducks, something I'm sure he very rarely did in his cricketing career.
This part of the game is the level that Warne's got, the others have around the table haven't. He will happily isolate with pocket twos, pocket threes, pocket fours. The other guys have been limping in, inviting trouble. But Warne says, if I've got twos, I don't want to see anyone else at the flop. And that's the aspect of the game that Shane's got that the other guys around the table haven't.
What I've got to put in the call?
Well, another deuce in front of Dean Jones, suited with a king in hearts. And he seems intent on taking on his skipper, even though he's short stacked, down around 64,000 chips. He's made the call, leaving very little behind. Fouls are out of the way, and this is going to be Aussie on Aussie.
It's really a case of how much Warne wants to wear this shirt of Gough's, because for the team perspective, the short stack Dean Jones has pushed all in. Warne could fold here and donate the chips over to Dean Jones, get him out of a bit of bother at 106 chips.
Well, let's see whether Dean Jones does decide to push.
Check. Check.
He's being checked down. A flush draw for Jones.
7. Check. Check.
No action after the flop. And no flush for Jones, who's missed it completely.
Have a look.
And Warne is going to win with the lowest pair you can have. And that leaves Dean Jones in bother. He's only got 27,000 chips left, and with blinds at 8 and 16, that is not a whole lot of poker.
Did you have, did you bag them?
Yeah. It is 12.
Who against?
I bagged them against Pakistan in
Cards zipping across the felt. And it's going to be Shane Warne under the gun.
16 to play.
16,000 if he wants to call. Just makes it a call with the ace rag. And Robert Key, let's see how he plays the threes.
You've obviously got a good hand, haven't you?
Call.
Check.
8 more.
Oh, sorry.
Falzon has got the Dolly Parton hand. Doesn't want the value. And Dazzler says, I'll see 3 free ones, please.
Dean Jones just limped in there with the pocket deuces. What flop is he going to enjoy? That doesn't include the deuce. He's got 11,000 behind him. 56,000 pot. You got to ship him in, Dean.
Well, nobody has really connected with this, so Jones still in front. Darren Gough passes when he didn't need to. This is being checked down.
Check.
2 pairs for Dean Jones. It'll need to be an ace or a 9 or a 7 would give it to Warne. And a full house for Dean Jones. He decides to check.
Sorry, mate, the river got you.
Oh, it's a full house. You know what? I even had one of your outs too.
The blinds are steepening. It is now 10 and 20,000 to play poker at this table. Button on Darren Gough, action on Dean Jones. He's short stacked. Only has about 2 big blinds left, but decides to pick a better spot.
All in.
Darren Gough, understandably, all in with the rest of his stack.
Just the way he threw him in was an interesting way of doing life.
Call.
Love to see him. Go on.
And boss. Okay, cards over them, please.
Come on, Gough.
Good luck, gentlemen.
Double with the best hand.
That'll be
Double
nice.
ace what? Ace what?
Double up.
Ace queen.
Oh, trouble. Jeez.
No spades either.
26.
Come on, Dina. Just a 10.
The way it's gone for you, Warne, I'm sure there'll be 3 spades come up. First 3
Just
cards.
a 10.
No.
6 will do.
Great.
That 6 puts Shane Warne into the lead. Darren Gough now relying on finding one of his overcards or a straight appearing on the board. And it is 2 pairs to Shane Warne.
Want a flush?
No diamond, no.
Only the diamonds can save Darren Gough. Well, right colour, wrong shape. And that is the end of Darren Gough. Got his money in front, but that's not good enough when you are playing the master, Shane Warne.
I'm quite proud to wear a Warne shirt.
Well done, mate.
Good luck.
He has some luck on his side, hasn't he?
What he did there, I must admit, he's got all the chips. He's trying to bully a bit now, but I went all in, and on an ace and a queen, he had a 10 and a 6, and a 6 came up straight away. So he held on, and he took the money.
I mean, I think his stats or percentages, ace queen versus, was it 10-6 he had?
Yeah, 10-6, but he's always had a little bit of luck, hasn't he? You don't get 700 wickets. Well,
not just by being the best bowler
not
in the
just
world.
being playing the best bowler, you've got to have a bit of luck as well. So, listen, he's feeling confident, he's playing the game, he's been consistent throughout the tournament. He's been upset by losing the last test to Dean Jones. That killed him, and he's his teammate, but he looks on fire this one, he looks hard to beat.
Button in front of Shane Warne. It will be Steve Falzon to open the bidding. He, at the moment, is the best placed Englishman with nearly 200,000 chips.
Raised to 40,000 total.
Makes it 40,000 with the dog hand. Gets rid of the chip leader, but he has run into a monster in front of Robert Key.
30 more.
I fear Keysy won't play the team game. We'll be happy to get a double up at this stage. Plays a very, very tight game, Robert Key, but with ace, I mean, he's playing the Hollywood here, but now that little smile's a big tell from Robert Key. If you play poker with Robert Key, he's got too many tells, but Steve Falzon will, I think Keysy will flat call him here.
Well, we'll find out. He's certainly giving it the full acting experience. Doesn't manage to suck in the Australian Dean Jones. So, team orders would say they'll check this down. Robert Key, as a sportsman, has a will to win. Nothing there for Steve Falzon. So I don't suppose he's going to put much more money in here. Time to get it would have been pre-flop. Well, he's picked up a straight draw now.
That's boring cricket, fellas.
A jack would do this for Steve, but only a jack. Well, instead, it's a set of aces for Robert Key. Robert Key turns it over reluctantly, as if he had nothing. And there it is, 3 beautiful A's. And all those chips will motor west into his stack.
Nice race. King 9?
Yeah, got to do something.
Nice race.
Blinds now 20 and 40,000. That means that Dean Jones is all in automatically in the big blind. Falzon doesn't want to play Jack 6. Shane Warne gets out of the way, and Rob Key, it's only 20,000 to call. Getting 3-to-1 odds to go heads up. Dean Jones has pulled pocket queens just when he needed them.
I told you.
Rob Key does have the overcard. This one's not over yet. But the Australians certainly getting a whiff of good fortune when they need it.
Unbelievable.
I haven't played well enough to actually get through any longer.
Oh, ace 9, 10.
Some distant straight draws there for Rob Key, but the turn will have to be the right.
Oh, I'm not even teasing.
And it isn't. So it has to be a cowboy now.
Oh, tried. I don't know.
And Dean Jones doubles through.
Wake up with queens.
Sorry, mate.
Unbelievable.
You told me not to look.
I said kings, you got queens.
If he'd have looked, I'd have got a read on him and just folded.
Oh, here with the
The Poker Ashes, sponsored by 888.com. Sponsored by 888.com.
Lovely, that would have been.
Since we got four-handed, Shane Warne has been making like a steamroller and bullying these players, but now with the blinds so high, He knows that they're going to start calling him out of desperation. Interesting to see how the Australian changes gear.
Sounds like me. Just shifted.
Dean Jones with a jack deuce on the button. Considering a push.
No, surely not. This is Hollywood from Dino. He's just buying a bit of camera time. The jack deuce. We've seen Dino tighten up his game from the first couple of tests. He was always passing. Bit of TV time for Dean Jones.
Well, jack 6 suited for Steve Falzon. Is this the moment to try it on? He knows he'll get called by the big stack. And he would have been behind, so correct decision. Unfortunately, with the blinds this high, the only decision very soon is going to be all in.
Dean Jones has the next 2 hands. If he doesn't play this hand, he's blinded out in the next 2 hands. Needs to wake up with a hand before the blinds rock on back to him.
We're now in a fascinating game of chicken. Shane Warne has most of the chips on the table. The other 3 players, Steve Falzon, Rob Key and Dean Jones, are perilously short stacked and the blinds are going to eat them up. Who's going to blink first?
That familiar tap from Dean.
This is the one, Dino.
He pushes with King 8.
That's plenty enough for Steve Falzon. Ace 3 suited.
Falzon must push here. He does.
I really don't need to look. Don't think I need to look, do I? Oh.
He could take 3 in 1 here, Grubb. He could take all 3 in 1 here. Although I sense Robert Key will just take the fold.
You could do one. Complete 20.
You can wipe out the whole 3 of us here.
Yeah, you can
in
do.
one fell swoop.
Yeah, raise it 100 million.
Go on, I'll leave it to you 3. Go on. I'll fold.
Okay, Carlton.
Come on now. I reckon I got
3 players. Rob Key will have some chips behind.
Ace 2.
Rob Key dominated with his 4-3.
King 8.
And King 8 for Jones. Now, wouldn't it just be the way things have been going for Australia
Well, 2 people
if
are
Jones manages to squeeze through this gap? Here comes the flop.
Got a 4 in there anyway, Keezy. Ace is still good.
10-6.
Come on. Then you can dump some chips to me and then we can just take you down. Just lose to me and then...
Oh, ace is still good.
2 clubs there for Steve Falzon. That takes away the 8 of clubs from Dean Jones.
Be a nice little pot that for me.
Oh.
And there it is. Ace 3 stands up. Dean Jones put up a gallant battle, but he couldn't repeat his heroics from the 4th test of this 888 Poker Ashes series, and he's out just before the medals.
I think I had King 6 then.
Dean, you've had an exceptional test series. Have you enjoyed it?
Oh, look, it's been absolutely awesome. It's an interesting game. It really is. We didn't play that much when we played cricket. You know, we had the guys in the Australian team like Dougie Walters and those guys played other forms of the game. But in a way, maybe it was good that I didn't actually play it when I was younger, but it's been a lot of fun.
Had enough yet?
And the good news for the English fans is that England are now assured of at least a draw, with points for coming 2nd and 3rd. They have got at least 3. The bad news for them, of course, is that Shane Warne has nearly 3/4 of the chips on the table. And I'm sure he'll be totally relaxed, even though he's outnumbered 2-1. Shane is on the button and 3-handed. That means he'll be first to act.
Fully expect to raise here. Any 2 cards. Expected the raise from Shane Warne.
He's effectively treating this as heads up because Rob Key has only 30,000 chips. And in they go. He wants to isolate Rob Key. It's all down to what is in front of Steve Falzon. Well, he's passed, so...
Do you want to know the good news or the bad news?
Go ahead this time.
No, I got rubbish.
Not about me though. No. Seriously.
What do you got? Queen? Queen.
2 or 3.
No!
You've got to be kidding me. Split pot.
Rob Kidd only looked at the first card and seen the jack.
But look at that. There are some clubs for Rob Key.
Picked up a big hand now. Big draw for Rob Key.
Just a little 4. 4. Come on, Dean. It's about time.
6.
There's a 6.
Club.
It's a split now, unless Rob Key
Give him a club.
can hit a club. He can't. They'll chop this one up.
You make 20. That's all right. You're pretty lucky.
So a nasty scare there for Rob Key.
Just sums it up though, doesn't it?
But he's no worse off than when he started.
Is that on me?
Blinds are now at nosebleed level, 30 and 60,000. Rob Key on the button only has 70,000 chips there, so if he calls, he might as well shove.
Oh, that's plenty good enough. Suited connectors, 8-9 of spades for Rob Key. He will get called by Shane Warne. It's a case of whether Steve also wants to get involved here.
It's going to cost Steve 40,000. Decides to get out of the way, but only 10 for the pocket sixes of Shane Warne. Well, it's 50-50. The overcards in not bad shape against those sixes. They are suited. This will be pretty much 50-50. Here comes the flop.
No, it's just rubbish. It's not even a
No 6 there. But nothing for Rob Key either.
9. Come on, 9. Positive. 9.
Bit of sports psychology from Shane Warne. It's not working.
Reverse psychology.
8.
Oh, no, that's it. Cheers.
8.
Cheers.
8. Oh.
Play Shane. Very good, mate. Well done.
2 pairs, 7s and 6s for Shane Warne. The class of the field takes down another victim. Rob Key walks off. Got a point for England, and now we're heads up.
Warne has played well, but it's not hard, is it, when you keep getting aces every time? He had a massive cheek. You could hardly see over his chip stack. Such donated his to him, and from that moment on, it was always going to be tough. Every time he's betting, raising it 4 times the blind, and you just needed a hand. And I had aces at one stage, he didn't go in, and he had a lot of luck today, which he generally does.
He does have a lot of luck. Have you enjoyed the poker ashes?
Yeah, it's been very good. It's been great just to sit around with some players, guys that I watched play as a kid, and obviously blokes that I played against. But just been fantastic, really. There's some serious players out there.
You're referring to Jeff Thompson, wild bowler, wild poker player.
Yeah, he was hard work. I imagine he was hard work at poker as he was facing with the ball. But I play against Warne people like that. You get to know him a little bit. It's just brilliant, really, to just sit around the table with him for what's been quite a few hours.
I'm all in.
6-5. And of course, Warne calls, and he has him dominated.
Good luck, Shane.
Steve Falzon would have liked to see 2 live cards. As it is,
3-1 dog.
Only the 6 is working for him. There are, of course, some nice, juicy straight possibilities. Not anymore, and his 5 is out-kicked by Shane Warne. Running clubs, no longer a possibility.
Ace for a split. Oh.
The 4 is no good. It was short, it was sweet. And the victor, the best player on the table, Shane Warne, a cricketing legend, has also proved himself a master of the poker table. He's won 2 of these Ashes tests personally himself, finished second in another one, and he has led the Australian team to a crushing victory over the old enemy.
Secured England an honourable draw in the 5th Test match. Well played.
Thank you.
So, what have you learned from the experience?
Well, poker's a tough game, and you've got to play hard to win, and the Aussies have played a good game.
So you're saying that they deserve to win?
I think overall, probably in the end, they did play well. Today especially. Yesterday, a lot of luck, but today they played well.
Well, what a fantastic event the 2009 Poker Ashes has been. We've seen some stunning poker. We've seen some slightly more flamboyant cards at times as well, but it all adds up to a 3-1 series victory for Australia. Congratulations, Skipper. Another urn for the trophy cabinet, but just how much fun has it been?
Yeah, look, it's been fantastic. I think everyone's enjoyed themselves, I think, from both sides. I think there's some good banter there, and of course it was nice of the players to do the right thing and make sure we win the Poker Ashes. It was a fantastic gesture from our side, but I think it's been a lot of fun, which is the main thing.
But the big question everyone wants to know is, with a split pot in that 5th and final test, what's happened to your side bet?
Yeah, I think the best thing to do, Goughy, would be, how about if we split the finances to half to your charity, to the Benevolent Fund for the Players Association, half to the Shane Warne Foundation. Only though, if you wear your shirt. If you have to wear my shirt. No, wear my shirt to Lords.
Can't say fairer than that.
Deal?
On the 5th day.
Should it get that far?
Not the Saturday, on the first day, yeah?
First day then. First day? Well done.
It's a deal.
No,
congratulations.
Deal.
That's fantastic stuff. So that means it's $20,000 to your chosen charity. Darren, tell us a little bit about where that money's going to go.
Well, first of all, he's always a gentleman, so thanks
very good.
much.
Well done, Shane. Absolutely.
Going to a good cause, the PCA Benevolent Fund. Obviously, for some cricketers who fall in hard times, or their families that have disabilities or need have problems. A cricket ex-test cricketer, Willie Davis, had a big problem last year, big fall, and he's been supported by the PCA for I think the last 5-6 years. So it goes to a good cause.
Fantastic. And obviously the other half goes to your charity. Shane, tell us a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, look, the Shane Warne Foundation has made a significant difference to 75 different children's charities. We raise money for seriously ill and underprivileged children, ranging from clowns that entertain the kids and try and keep them a smile on their face in the hospitals, horse riding, music therapy, buses, a wide range of things. So the money's going to go to a great cause.
I'd now like to welcome to the stage Gareth Edwards of the tournament sponsors to present Shane Warne and Team Australia with the 2009 Poker Ashes urn. Many congratulations, Shane. Your team. Congratulations to Australia. What an event it has been. We'll see you next time. But from all the team, it's bye for now.
The Poker Ashes, sponsored by 888.com.